Good evening, listeners and viewers. Welcome to our weekly review of our news review, Change Radio. We are live on Change Radio and Zimbabwe, on Facebook and on YouTube. Maswera say, Murie Zimbabwe.
Listeners and viewers.
I think there's a background echo somewhere. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Thank you. Apologies for that. Welcome once again. Tinokugashirai vateereri vatariri vese mumativi mana enyika nekuzimbabwe. Tinoti maswera sei, tichikuchingamidzai muchirongwa chedu chatinoita vhiki rese our weekly news review. Chirongwa chatinotarisa nyaya dzanga dzichitaurwa dzichiitika panhau paChange Radio Zimbabwe. This evening we have a very special guest. We are joined by the usual co-host, Chief Soshe, lead DJ Prof, leader Estella in the background. And I'll just hand over to our host, Chief Soshe, to introduce our special guest for this evening. Chief Soshe, over to you.
Thank you very much, leader. We appreciate Muria Zimbabwe Makati Mativi Mana Kwese Makaterera. We welcome you to our program right here on Zimbabwe and Change Radio. The topic, as you have heard, is a news review. And today we are joined by the man himself, Vanozviti Muvaki Mukuru, Muvaki we North America Province, leader Murozvi Mada, the organizing secretary for North America Province. Thank you very much, leader, for joining us. We appreciate your time. Please take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners.
For welcoming me, and I wanted to also humbly thank all the viewers across the globe. We are here for the people, and we represent the people, and it is a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vamada. I know that there are a lot of things that are happening in North America Province. If you can take time to just walk us through what's going on and what you're planning. You are the organizing secretary. You organize everything.
Thank you very much, Chief Soshe. Yes, we stand with the people. We organize with the people. We work with the people. So we have our UN assembly coming shortly in September. And as the North America Province MDC Alliance, we are very excited. We are very proud that we are planning, we are organizing, we are putting together a platform to come together as fellow Zimbabweans to deliberate on many of the things that we know many people are wishing to have or to hear. We are planning for a good get-together for the demonstrations against many things that are making many people in Zimbabwe miserable. One of the issues is voters' rights. We are Zimbabweans. We are all over the world. We are in the North America Province, which is USA and Canada. We are Zimbabweans in UK, Zimbabweans, South Africa, Australia, everywhere in the world. So we want to vote where we are. We have seen this happening in 1980. All Zimbabweans across, we demanded to vote wherever we are. And we expect to do the same. But unfortunately, under our own, we are denied. So we are getting together to ask the government of Zimbabwe to give us our rights. And that's what we are here for. We are planning to have our own chief, who is a chief like Chief Soshe, Chief Nduweni. We are expecting to have him in North America Province to work with us and stand for the people. We are also planning to have all our MDC Alliance members come together in New York And many people, we have started our roll calling. People are coming, people are excited, and we are inviting every Zimbabwean across the board, whether there's any political party, including ZANU, because I know for a fact, and I want to be very clear on that, there are many ZANU supporters who are crying for the situation in Zimbabwe. And we want to give them the opportunity to live a decent life again. Let's come together. Let's talk to the government of Zimbabwe for what we are asking. And this is the platform. We must do it. And why I'm saying that is because we have also seen during this pandemic, when people are geared to go to New York, we have also seen the Zimbabwean president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, gearing to go to Zambia, Lusaka, during the pandemic, and we can't do it in Zimbabwe. So we can do it here in New York, and we can do it anywhere. And we encourage everybody to come together and do likewise. He has applauded the democracy that happened in Zambia, and we expect him and all the political party supporters to applaud what we are planning, because we want democracy in Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much, Mada. Do you have the dates and the place and any other activities that are taking place around the United Nations demonstration?
Yes, we do have a place that we are going to share specifically during this week. We have it already, but it's going to be in New Jersey state, that is just across the Manhattan area of New York. We are going to meet on the 17th of September in the evenings, and we welcome all the people of Zimbabwe to come and meet with us. Our leaders, Chief Shoshe and his team, come talk to them, mingle with them, hear what they have to say. And we have already gotten quite a number of people who are very happy that we are supplying these dates, 17th of September. And we are going to have our demonstration on the 18th of September from around 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And from there, we'll go back to New Jersey. We are going to have our big meeting from around 5 o'clock to 7, 8 o'clock. Then after that, we are going to have our dinner. This is going to be a special time. We have been disadvantaged not to meet, not to come together. So we are going to have our kind of dinner dance, getting together, celebrating the life that we have not been having. So we are inviting each and everyone across the aisle of political affiliation to come and witness and sit down, enjoy with fellow Zimbabweans. We are here to put people together, and we are also excited that there are many people who have accepted and are very excited that we are planning such an event.
Well, to those who are just joining us, that's Mr. Mada, the Provincial Organizing Secretary of North America Province, inviting all Zimbabweans across the political divide to come to New York United Nations General Assembly. We all know what happened the last time around when Emmerson Mnangagwa was in the United States of America at the same conference. These people, Mada, these are what I'm calling these people. They made Emmerson Mnangagwa to address empty chairs after they had lobbied world leaders, other organizations, and the man, was just miserable, addressing very few people in the United Nations General Assembly, and they also stopped the First Lady, or the so-called First Lady, Auxilia, from getting an award at Harvard University. And at that same time, I think, Mada, you remember the First Lady was supposed to go to Canada, and North America Province stopped her from doing that. So, you can see here the great track record. Last year, it was a virtual United Nations General Assembly, so there was nothing that was done in the province. But this year around, some leaders will actually be traveling to the United Nations General Assembly, and a lot of countries are going to come to the United Nations just for the purposes of expressing their opinions. And Zimbabweans in North America are being invited to be part of those many nationalities that will be coming to demonstrate at the United Nations. So all roads should be leading to New York on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of September. If you haven't bought your ticket, please buy your ticket. I will revert to my co-host here, and DJ Prof, if you have any questions for Mada, if you need any clarification on behalf of the people, he is there to take questions before he leaves.
Before they ask you some questions, Chief, I just wanted to also support your sentiments there. But I'm always coming from a very softer point of view that we are the people of Zimbabwe. We are scattered all over the world. And there are very good reasons why. Because we are looking for life. And we have been asking our government, even before the government of ED, when it was Mugabe. And one thing that I wanted to clarify is that we have been demanding at the end of the day, after asking the late dictator, Robert Mugabe, that things are not well. People are persecuted. People are oppressed. And there is no life in Zimbabwe. And we have not spared, our togetherness to stand and denounce the irregularities of human abuses in Zimbabwe. That we do without fear, without hesitation. And like you said, especially 2019, I vividly recall their spokesperson for ZANU, Kaya Moyo, then, when we could tell that we are a thorn in the flesh, it is all because we are standing for the people, we are standing for the majority. The majority of Zimbabweans are not happy. We are not happy. We represent them. We can do it again, and we are going to do it. Let them give us the platform that we are asking. And that is very clear. People are being tortured. The likes of Joanna Mamombe and Cecilia and Netsai and many, even including our celebrities who have been, brutalized, like Chingono. These people are a living example. Marco today is behind jail. And there is no one single ZANU-PF person who go to jail and last for just a week. So what I'm saying is very clear. What we have seen, whether in Malawi, whether in Zambia, whether even in South Africa, in terms of giving people their rights, it is going to happen in Zimbabwe under the sun. And it is very clear that the regime, I normally call it the coup regime, because we know they ousted Robert Mugabe. And it is very clear. So we are asking them to honor the people's rights. If they don't, we'll repeat the same thing. We'll be a thorn in their flesh. And we'll never be intimidated not to do so. Thank you.
Questions, comments?
Wow. I'm left motivated. I'm left, in a different place than when we started. And I'm so glad that you mentioned so many activists who are being hounded by this illegitimate regime. I was thinking about Makomborero just a few hours ago, that, the piecemeal freedom that he's been given. And, he is still behind bars. He has committed no offense. He blew a whistle. And we have the former social service minister walking free and actually campaigning for ZANU-PF. And yet she has stolen millions We have, even the drugs saga. These people are walking free and still going on to buy Bentleys with our monies that they continue to steal from the masses. And I'm going to take you back a bit, Mr. Makolet. How then, when we bring in the peaceful, we talk about doing it peacefully. How then do we make ourselves heard by this illegitimate regime that will stop at nothing and are shamelessly continuing to accumulate wealth and stealing it from us and from our children, the future of Zimbabwe? Can we do it peacefully?
Thank you very much. One thing that I know for a fact is what just transpired in Zambia.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened in Zambia, which I know for a fact, the regime in Zimbabwe was propelling Lungu to take over. But the people have the power. Under the sun, once the people come together, there is no one individual, there is no one force that is going to stop that. And we must be assured of that. That condition is on the ground in Zimbabwe. And there is so much that is going on in the social media of ZANU-PF that I want to answer you. They are accusing our MDC Alliance president with so much that they cannot see it tangible that he has done any harm to the people of Zimbabwe. And they are completely forgetting what they call the opposition leaders, the people like Mwonzora and so. Immediately when they see that the people are still standing with the advocate, President Nelson Chamisa, they come up with so much. Now they are amounting to millions and millions of deals that Zimbabwe is going to be booming. And they've been doing it ever since. So what I'm saying is, we are here to expose, to tell the people, so they remain so informed that they are being used. And that is our gun. And the people have no faith in that regime. Thank you.
DJ Prof.
Thank you very much, leadership. Thank you, Mr. Mada, for coming with those wise words. They always saying, thank you very much. I think from my side, what I would just want to ask you on behalf of the listeners and viewers, Mr. Mada, I heard you earlier when you were speaking about that our chief Ndiweni will be part and parcel of you in the demonstration, and also outside the discussion is that I read in some social media circles where Chief Ndiweni, I think, joined together with one of our partners, Simba Chikanza, when they were bringing something that has to be subscribed online. I don't know if you can answer on that, actually demanding diaspora vote. I don't know if you are privy to answer that. I'm not saying you can be spokesperson for Chief Ndiweni, but if you are privy to answer that, yes.
Thank you very much, and I like the way you put it. I am not the spokesperson for Chief Ndiweni, but
yes,
what I can say is Chief Ndiweni is a Zimbabwean citizen. And when Chief Ndiweni was in Zimbabwe, the majority of Zimbabwe are very aware that Chief Ndiweni stood with the majority of long-suffering people.
Yeah.
He has been incited to team up with the regime, and he stood with the people to say things the way they are. And he became the enemy of the state. It is known. I'm not saying it because it is there. Everybody can Google and know about it. So Chief Ndiweni is teaming up with all Democrats to stand up and say we want the vote by every Zimbabwean, wherever they are. And if the government is serious, yes, this is very simple that they can do. If millions of dollars, as some of you leaders have said, whether in the ZESA tenders that we all know, we know millions of dollars have been snipped out of ZESA. Just to mention one, we know there is no railway that is operating today because of corruption. And I can go on and on and on and on. Nothing has happened. So
Is there? Can you still hear him?
No.
I think something wrong there.
okay, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So Chief Ndweni is a citizen of Zimbabwe, standing up very tall with the Zimbabwean people. And the regime is always sidelining those who are seen to be propelling the people. And I stand with them, and the majority of Zimbabweans are standing with them. And it is true, as I hear, as I read, he is asking everybody to come together so we have the rights wherever we are to vote. And that is a noble and very human demand to be made by Zimbabweans.
Thank you very much, Mada. I know you want to go, but we'll give you time to just do your last remarks, talking about the demo, talking about the activities around the demo that will be taking place in New York. And then after that, you can go to your work. I know you are busy organizing that event, and you have some meetings that are coming on. So your last words.
Thank you, Chief Toshe, and your team here. I just want to encourage each and every fellow Zimbabweans and our friends all over the world where we are watching. And I want to thank you as a panelist, together with the likes of Kanza and many others who have been informing the Zimbabwean people what we can do together to bring back our country, not for a country just that for a few. That said, we must come together in New York. We must come together in every constituency that we are residing and see how best we can team up. And this is one in a long time that we can all come together. It is very human to sacrifice for something that is noble, that can change people's lives, like this function we are going to have. I encourage each and every fellow Zimbabwean in North America, Canada, USA, to sacrifice your time. We are very busy. Let's be there as we have always been. And I trust people in North America have always done it. And we can all again do it. This is you can do just like what Malawi has done. You can do just like Zambia has done, to come together and do a good thing that we have seen even ED going to celebrate what the Zambian people have done. So let's come together in New York and we invite ED to come on our celebrations, and we'll give him a slot to talk about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you so much.
See you in New York. Back to you, Sophie.
And your team.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mada, for that very informative and exciting program that's coming up. I don't know, Chief, do you have any idea of what is planned for the other provinces regarding this 18 September UN demo? Are there any plans to include other provinces in their different areas on the same day when this demo will be happening?
Yeah, that's the idea. That's what we have been trying to push other provinces to do, so that they also go to their respective areas like to the United Nations General Assembly. The United Nations has offices across the world, everywhere, so they can go to those offices and represent Zimbabweans and talk about the right to vote and talk about, the atrocities that are going on in Zimbabwe, the human rights abuses and so forth. That's what we are encouraging other provinces to do. And hopefully some of them will come up and do the same thing.
Wow. DJ Prof, what does this mean to you as a youth, as a youth member and a youth leader? What does this September 18 UN demo mean for the youth of Zimbabwe?
Definitely, we are looking forward to it. It's a very, very noble idea, and I know it's going to yield a lot of results, not only in North America, not only in America per se, but even across. Like Chief has said that they are trying as provincial chairs of all diaspora provinces to harness the people, to make sure that even here where we are, we can go to consulates and the people who are close to embassies, because here in Cape Town we have a consulate just close around the corner that we used to demonstrate as students. Remember during time of Mugabe, Chief will know this. We used to demonstrate the consulate, and in Pretoria they used to go to the embassy to demonstrate even Chenayi. So we want that, and we want that to happen. We appreciate and we thank North America province for starting this initiative, which is a very good and important noble idea. We need and we want, both need and want to vote, to choose our leader who is going to lead us. We are in diaspora, we are remitting finances to Zimbabwe. We have got a right as Zimbabweans to vote. So the government of Zimbabwe, the so-called, let me say the so-called because everyone knows that it's a coup government. The so-called government must know that people have got rights and their rights must be respected. Thank you very much.
Oh yes, their rights must be respected. And the sad thing, I think, when I think about the youth of Zimbabwe, is that a lot of them have fled to the diaspora, and the diaspora is giving them something that their motherland should have been giving them. I mean, how many youths have received a pay slip from working in Zimbabwe? A simple thing like a pay slip. So this is something that we need to actually let it gather momentum. Let us support it. Let us make noise about it. Like the organizing secretary for the NAP province said, that, you know what, let's go out, let's do this. Simbarevanu must speak, and it must speak so loudly that UN General Assembly must be empty when ED is addressing it, because he is illegitimate and he has taken so much from the people of Zimbabwe, and it's time to reclaim it. And we must reclaim it and take back what's ours by electing the rightful president of Zimbabwe, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, into office in 2023. So, wow, good luck. And we stand supporting, and we're ready for action for the 18th of September UN demo. I don't know, do you have anything to say about that, Chief, before we move on to the next topic?
No, we can move on.
We can move on. Thank you so much. The next topic we'll be talking about is the SDR, the close to $1 billion that has been availed to Zimbabwe by the IMF. But what I just want to say is that, you know what, let there be no mistakes. This is not money that is being given to Zimbabwe by the IMF because the illegitimate regime has done something right. They are not supporting the illegitimate regime. So whatever ZANU-PF is saying about this and blowing trumpets and telling lies as usual, it's just amounts of monies that are given by the IMF to all the countries. So they have done nothing special for the people of Zimbabwe, these ZANU-PF goons. In actual fact, they continue to make lives more terrible for us. But anyway, let's talk about this SDR. Chief, I'll hand over to you just to give us your opinion around what is going on with the SDR funds.
Yes, we are still expecting a specialist, Chenayi, the economist, an economist from the United Kingdom, to join us to exhaust this topic. But from a layman's point of view, I know what is going to happen. That money will never reach the people. It will never get to the people of Zimbabwe. Right now, as we are speaking, they are busy planning for it. Who is going to take that million? What deal are we going to do? And who is going to get what percentage? That's what they do. That's what Emerson Mnangagwa is good at, doing deals and, giving people money, and taking money that doesn't belong to the government, that doesn't belong to him, and putting it, lining up their pockets. So the truth of the matter is the money is never going to be used for anything meaningful in Zimbabwe. It's a question of, they used to say, that old saying, a fool and his money are soon parted. Very soon, you will be talking about it. We'll be asking, where is the money? Where did the money go to? And ZANU-PF will be coming out, in all colors and phases, trying to defend themselves. But the people of Zimbabwe would not have benefited anything from that money. That's a lot of money. If you was someone who had the heart, of the people of Zimbabwe, who thought of the people first, who thought of Zimbabweans first, he was going to make amends using this money. He was going to take advantage of this money and develop the country and do something about our healthcare and do something about our school system and do something about our decaying and dilapidated infrastructure. But we know that he's not going to do anything. People talk about when they hear President Chamisa talking about the spaghetti roads, they say he's a dreamer. Yes, I'm also a dreamer because I believe that is possible. But the truth of the matter is, you can with $1 billion, you can build all the spaghetti roads that you want, that you need in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is not a big country. You put that money into perspective. You can build 20 hospitals, state-of-the-art hospitals in Zimbabwe, and there will still be money for other programs as well. But we know that that's never going to happen. So it's just a question of time. And I know that there are people out there who are saying, Chief and these people, they are just here to criticize. We're not criticizing. We're just stating the facts. Let's talk a year from now and see where that money would have gone and see if Zimbabwean lives would have changed and see if our poverty, or if we would have moved away from our poverty that I'm lying right now to somewhere better. Nothing. But with 1 billion, you can do a lot.
So true. DJ Prof, do you want to step in there before I come in?
Yes, that's true. Chief. You know what? Chief and viewers and listeners, ZANU-PF has for years has been speaking and has been telling our parents, our youth in the rural area, the people that are not close to social media, close to internet, they have been telling us about these so-called sanctions. Now it's the time for them to prove. Sanctions are right out. Where are they? IMF, the right out because of sanction. We want to see the development that they are going to do. And we want to hear again, which blame are they going to say we are not developing the country because of 1, 2, 3 things. Now again, it's just proving to the people of Zimbabwe that all the mantra of sanctions, that ZANU-PF has been saying, it was just a lie to the people of Zimbabwe. And they lie in the daylight, they lie at night, they lie in the morning. They are not even scared to lie the same way that they are not even scared for corruption activities. Now they were saying that all along IMF is not giving us money because we are under sanction, and people, MDC Alliance and the people that lead it were saying to the people of Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe is not under sanction, but there are people who are targeted with those sanctions. The unfortunate part is that even the money that is coming to develop the people of Zimbabwe is coming to their hands for it to be disseminated. That's the unfortunate part of it. And I heard that there was also money that was supposed even to come to Zimbabwe. That was funded, I think, by United Nations as well, to give people of Zimbabwe, and we brought this news here at Change Radio Zimbabwe, and also at Zimai, that people were supposed to receive money, the $12 and each. The government, I heard now that they are even refusing that money to come because they are saying, no, the money must not go direct to the people. The money must go to them first. For what reason? Only God knows. So we are saying to the people of Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe is given $1 billion US. We want to see the development. We want to see where it's gonna go. But let me assure you, like Chief has said, I don't visualize in the horizon health sector being boosted with that money when Chiwenga is still the Minister of Health. Honestly, he doesn't even know what is an injection. What do you expect from that guy? As you know, when he gets sick, he knows just only to go to China, and he knows his thing that he's gonna get anything there. You will see that our health professionals, doctors, nurses, they are going to squander again in poverty, while the money to fund them is here. You will see our roads are going to be more dilapidated, and that money, believe you me, by year end, Chief, is very far. let's speak by November. You hear half of that money will be in Grace account. Believe, mark my word, half of that money will be in Grace account with some sort of dubious agreement that you will hear very soon. I think even what's his name? This guy who went on to put a tent in Kariba, wanted to generate electricity. Chief Chivayo. What's Chivayo? Very soon he's gonna get more money for those tents in that area for generating electricity. So you know how these people they always take our people's money. That's how they do. And I'm sure let's not be people who believe this. Now I'm sure that it's like you said, Chief, people are thinking that we are the prophets of doom for now. But by the year end, and you will see by the time that we started speaking about this money by year end, people will start saying no, the money was used, but or maybe the ZANU-PF propaganda, the Tafaza Mgwadis who just come and say you are jealous of the money of the people. It's not yours. We can't be jealous. We need to trace that money. We need, and I'm sure that even my brother Wopo is putting the apparatus to know where that money is going, and he's gonna say it, and we're gonna say it, and we're gonna tell the public and the people of Zimbabwe what that money is being used, and we want that money to develop all the sectors that are not working. Create employment for young people who are smoking marijuana, ganja, drinking toriro on the corner of the streets in Glenora and Glenview, in Mavuka and wherever. Create industry for those people to go to work. Thank you.
Wow, you bring in a very valid point that that money, we doubt very much that it's going to go where it's supposed to go. Tomorrow we have schools opening, and there are teachers being told that teachers might get transport for free. Really, things like that teachers cannot even afford to get paid properly for them to be able to pay for their own fares. And we don't know what's going to happen. Nurses as well, like we're saying, nurses and doctors are very poorly remunerated. And this is the money, the funds that we're looking that are going to possibly change the fortunes or turn around the situation in Zimbabwe. But we know from the track record that this illegitimate government has. Look at the COVID-19 funds and what happened to them. Look at any assistance in the form of any aid that comes into the country. No one ends up knowing what's going to happen. if the Auditor General flags something is wrong, the Auditor General Mildred Chiri recently had her wings clipped by the Health Minister for exposing rot in the Ministry of Health. And, you know, how then we know now, and we're not just prophets of doom, but we are speaking the truth. This is the truth. The nation of Zimbabwe, please open your eyes. This is the truth. When money like this is coming, we're expecting almost $1 billion US, and we're very sure that this money is going to disappear. Is there not a way that can be used to tackle this, or to try and have the fund somehow you know, spread out or given to the people without going through government coffers? Is there any way that can be, you know, solicited or given away, maybe like the having another September 18 UN demo style, for these funds to be given to the people of Zimbabwe, but not going through Mthuli Ncube and his friends?
No, Sister Little Sophia, I don't think that will happen, because there are laws in Zimbabwe that is not even allowing people to source their own funds. Do you know that there's a law in Zimbabwe that does not allow political parties to source their own fund from any donor? So they don't allow that. Even they give terms to the donations that if you want to donate money into the country, you want to inject money into the country, must come through, they always say protocols and channels. I don't know what protocols and channels. Someone wants to bring money to say, I want to feed Masvingo province. They will tell you that money must arrive Harare first before it goes to Masvingo province. That's how they are. We are not allowed as political parties, even in Zimbabwe, to source donor funding. But themselves, they are doing that. You know that the 2018 election t-shirts, those the campaign materials that were used by ZANU were funded and donated by China. But MDC, just to go outside to source even fund, they want to know why you get this fund. Why? Because they know fund is one of the things that they would win Zimbabwean people with, so that they can buy the voting. They can also buy foodstuffs and hampers to give the people of Zimbabwe to vote. Mostly probably in the rural area, because they know if you do that in Harare, we'll take the food, we eat it, and we don't vote for you. They know that. Ask Joseph Chinotimba, will tell you. He lost in high food and he followed his minimum the second day. That's why he had to run to Boera. He knows that. So you can go to Boera, that you can give those people things, because they are in the rural area and they are looking for the food, and they can do anything, because you know what? People, they just say, okay, fine, let me just vote. But we need, again, what I can say now, the point that comes just out in my mind now, we need voter education for the people. Because I had someone in the rural area said, but if they give me 10 kg of minimum, I can vote them. What am I losing? And I'm like, God have mercy. You are losing the whole country for that 10 kg of minimum. They'll say, but I'm still surviving. You are still surviving, but poorly, which is not where you're supposed to be. So all those things that comes in, leader, I think we still need to, as an alternative voice, Change Radio Zimbabwe, we need to educate people on vote. What is the importance of their vote? Back to you. On my note, I can't hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. I am still a bit skeptical, and I would have wanted to see a process where maybe these funds could be lobbied. The IMF could be lobbied on dispersing these funds in another channel, besides going through Mthuli Ncube's office. If it was possible, maybe that would have been better for the people of Zimbabwe. I don't know, Chief, your 2 cents there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we would want. But like DJ Prof correctly said, you know, international organizations and governments, they deal with a so-called government of a country, you know, especially when it comes to humanitarian needs. They are still channeling a lot of money through non-governmental organizations. So there is that leeway that there is money that is supposed to go directly to the people, and it's channeled through NGOs. That's why you see Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are very angry with the NGOs. I don't know why they're angry, because those NGOs are doing a good job for the people of Zimbabwe. So they want the people of Zimbabwe to starve. They want the people of Zimbabwe not to be educated, because as we are speaking right now, ZEC has an obligation to be doing voter education, but they never do that. ZANU-PF deliberately never do voter education because they want to promote voter apathy. They are better off when a few Zimbabweans go and vote. So they promote voter apathy by not doing voter education. If you go on the ZEC website right now, one of its mandates, and it actually says it itself, that we are supposed to be educating people, doing voter education. But every time any election, you watch them, they would just fly to one or two adverts, towards elections here and there, and that's their definition of voter education. So the NGOs come in and do the voter education, and ZANU-PF doesn't like that. The NGOs get the little that they get from other countries, and they give food to people and they give help to people, and ZANU-PF doesn't like that. Now they want to ban the NGOs. But anyway, that's a story for another day. I just want to reiterate what DJ Prof here as we round up on this issue. And then ndambodongorera futi pane vanhu vari pavapo ndaona vamwe varakashi varipo veZANU-PF. I have a message for you. Ndikunzwei futi varakashi muchitaura kuti nyonyonyo ma-sanctions, nyonyonyo Zimbabwe is under sanctions. If Zimbabwe is under sanctions, how are they getting all these billions of dollars? If Zimbabwe is under sanctions, how did the IMF end up giving them $1 billion? If Zimbabwe is under sanctions, how is it that Emmerson Mnangagwa is traveling to the United Kingdom, next month? How is it that Emmerson Mnangagwa is always here? How is it that Emmerson Mnangagwa is even employed, American companies and British companies, public relations companies that are working for ZANU-PF, that are being paid millions of dollars, millions of Zimbabwean dollars, that are, from the taxpayers of Zimbabwe. But they are paying people here, big companies here. So they're doing business with American companies. So if there are sanctions, if ED is under sanctions, how is he being allowed to do all those things? Saka musazoya pano muchingovukura muchitaura nyaya yema-sanctions, muri kutadza kutonga nyika, muri kutadza kugadzirisa zvinhu zviri kunetsa munyika. There are no sanctions in Zimbabwe. The sanctions that are there are targeted sanctions, individual sanctions that do not hurt the Zimbabwean economy at all. Saka ngavaregedze kuwanda nemunhu. Anyway, back to you.
Vari kupiwa mari kando vacho vanobenefita from these SDR funds and the COVID-19 funds, That's why they actually say that we support whoever is in the State House. But I mean, you cannot say that. For 37 years, the same party has been there and has been on a constant downward trend, and they're failing dismally. They're doing a spectacular job at failing at managing the country and looking after its own citizens. So, what else can we expect from them? Because they are on the payroll of this, and it's just a few of them. And they're doing this, at the mercy, or they're harming the millions of Zimbabweans who are, even crying for a 10 kg sack of mealie, like what DJ Prof said. It brings me back to our former leader, Mr. Morgan Changirai, when people are saying Morgan is more, vote for more, vote for dignity. You can't have dignity when a person is saying, I'd rather have a 10 kg of mealie meal. Then what happens after that? All right, Sazaracho no Jikisane can all because of the 10 kg mealie meal. Let us strive to have more Zimbabweans. Let us want more. And let us not, listen to these Varakashi who are going on about sanctions or whatever else, trying to discourage other people. We know what we want. We must continue focusing on what we want and what we want for the people of the millions of Zimbabweans we are fighting for. Anyway, let's continue with our program. The final topic we have for tonight is the MDC name. Chief, can you take us through that, please?
Yes, the internet is ablaze right now with messages, information being exchanged by people. Some saying that President Chamisa has lost the MDC Alliance name to Mwonzora. But we all know where this is coming from. These are political organizations, ZANU-PF-A and ZANU-PF-B, or ZANU-PF and ZANU-PF Light, that led by Mwonzora. They are all very angry, very mad at what happened in Zambia. So right now they're busy trying to do, what we call DC. Tiri varume taingomboita zvamaita makudzoka kumba makuti DC, damage control. Leader Sophie, don't inonzi DC, unongova kuenda kuna mai wakuita DC, damage control.
I have something I'm going to ask Tekwani today.
So that's what ZANU-PF and Mwonzora are doing right now. They're trying to do damage control. They were banned in Zambia. ZANU-PF, Emmerson Mnangagwa was trying to put pressure on Lungu, on the new government, including Lungu, because he was still president, that they should not invite President Chamisa to the inauguration. But HH stuck to his guns. And he said he knows the politics of Zimbabwe. He knows who is the legitimate official opposition leader in Zimbabwe. And he went on to ignore Douglas Mwonzora and called upon President Chamisa and Deputy President to come to go to Zambia. And not only that, he actually announced and made it purposely to announce, that President Chamisa should be asked to come and greet together with Vice President Piti to come and congratulate the incoming president. And Emmerson Mnangagwa was just sitting there smarting, and he didn't like it at all. You could see his face that, he didn't like what was going on at all. And Mwonzora, on the other hand, he was expecting an invitation from Zambia. He never got it. And these people are very angry. And immediately after that, they put a plan in place. He convened a dubious meeting, a dubious MDC, so-called MDC Alliance meeting. Very fictitious, because no one of the principals, not even one of the principals of the actual MDC Alliance, the now defunct, the actual MDC Alliance was present at that meeting. The Transform Zimbabwe, which was one of the big parties within the MDC Alliance, led by Jacob Ngaruvume, was not there. It was not represented. And we all know that the PDP, which was led by Vice President Piti, is now defunct. Akusisina, together with the MDC that was led by Welshman Ngube. It's not there. It's no longer there. All those two political parties, MDC Green or MDC that was led by Welshman Ngube and PDP, were all collapsed into the MDC Alliance at the Gweru Congress in 2018. So those parties no longer exist. But for their own purposes, ZANU-PF and Douglas Mwonzora, they keep on going to ordinary members and some leaders, some disgruntled leaders, former leaders within these political parties, and they pick them up and they, give them handouts, give them some money, and then they start making some noises out there. So at that meeting where Douglas Mwonzora is claiming that the principals of MDC Alliance met and said and then decided that they are going to warn President Chamisa from using the MDC Alliance name. I think you all saw the statement that went around that was, saying that, making that those unsavory warnings or intimidations that the MDC Alliance led by President Chamisa should cease and desist from using the MDC Alliance name. vakatora zvivanhu zvinenge zvakangogara uko zvopiwa mari zvonzi uya kumeeting, vanga vari former members ePDP neMDC, ndo vakapinda imomo. The only leader whom most people here don't even know about, I think he was of this party called Zimbabwe Christian Democracy, Guchuchu, something like that. He was part of the alliance. He was the only one who attended there. He was the only principal, if you can call him a principal, because nobody knows that political party. Other than that, of the 7 political parties that were part of the MDC Alliance that was convened by the late Dr. Richard Morgan Changirai, no one was there. So that's why I call it fictitious. So now, after that meeting, the warnings have been sent. Now, the Herald, the official mouthpiece of Douglas Mwonzora, is running amok, saying President Chamisa has lost the MDC Alliance. There is nothing on that story. There's nothing, it's nothing to write home about. Where we were yesterday as MDC Alliance led by Nelson Chamisa is where we are still today. There's nothing that has changed. It's just the ZANU-PF and Douglas Mwonzora who are just trying to confuse the people here. And they're just trying to do, as I have said before, damage control from what happened in Zambia. So people, Machinja, the people of Zimbabwe, do not worry. There is nothing in that story that has been started by the Herald and the Sunday Mail.
Oh yes, you're so right. We say anebora ndiye anomakwa. That's why they're always following to try and distract advocates. I think there's an echo somewhere. Oh, it's gone. Tinoti anebora ndiye anomakwa. I think Advocate Nelson Chamisa, President Chamisa, vanovapa headache. That's why they're always trying to find a way yekuti voedza kuvapidigutsa, voedza kuvakanganisa nepapi. And it's so sad that Mwonzora is allowing himself to be used like this. Someone is actually saying kuti musiyano wa Mwonzora na President Chamisa ndeyekuti vese vari kuLusaka, asi vamwe vari kuZambia Lusaka, mumwe ari kuHaifiridzi kuLusaka. So so we want the real deal. The real deal was in Lusaka, Zambia. VekuHaifiridzi Lusaka, tombosiyana nawo zvavanoita hazvichiteke nyedzi, saka hativhunduki. Right. DJ Prof, you want to add on to that before we finish off?
I was trying to check my notes panapa kuti pane pandanchida kutaura pekutanga ndikuda kutaura kuti izvoni definitely the MDC Alliance president is known, is none other than Advocate Nelson Chamisa. President vakataura I think during the lockdown, we almost 6 months down the line now, not January in fact, kuti hatiitiswe tinoita tega, hatiudzirwe tinozviita tega, zvekuti anzi kwanzi ngavachinje zita, varuda kurizivireko zita racho nai mazano aya, varuda kurizivirei zita chii kuchinoita kuti muti chinjai zita tiendepi, moda kupa Douglas Mwonzora zita redu tiendepi. So in other words, we are saying we know who we are, and kana takuda kuchinja zita tiudzirwe neZANU-PF kuda kuchinja zita mutaure zita rakadai. The same way vakutaura tanzi kwanzi Nelson Chamisa hana plan. Uruda kuziva plan yemunhu, ukandibvunza inini kuti plan yako ndeyei, ndikakuti haiwa handikwanisi kuziva plan, wofamba uchaura pese havana plan. Ukada kuongora vanhu vachauri kuti hana plan, ndivana kapura chawo zvake vari kutongotera munangagwa, hapana kana one ane brains nemusoro. So the second point ndada kutaura neissue yekuti hanzi zvoni ma-alliance partners akasangana. Do you know kuti the only person akanga ari signatory we-alliance agreement ndiye Guchu tataurwa na chief. Vamwe vese vanga vari mukati meme, hapana kana one anomboziva kuti bepa racho vakatozoita rekuverenga, hanoziva kuti chii rakaitwa agreement zvamboita sei, zvazviri papo, and chii chakaitika. And I can vouch to you that kuzosainwa napresident Changirai. Advocate Nelson Chamisa vakanga varipo vachibva vatoitwa chair that alliance. So munhu akanga aripo kana vachizi maalliance partners hauite partner yechinhu chausina kuita chausina kupinda machiri. Kana uchinzi uri partner kureva kuti munenge makawirirana ndo kunonzi partner. Kana usina kuwirirana unombosangana nemunhu utasangana nemapartners unosungwa. Ukasangana zvachimbotaura nachief zvokuti ngatitore ine relationship wise zvokuti professor unongobuda mumba munomu wotosvika wotosangana nevasikana vakazara panze apo ndandine mapartners angu unorwa nevanhu. Hakuna mapartners akadaro. Partner munofanirwa kunge mawirirana, panofanirwa kunge pane agreement in between. Saka kana munhu tikada kuti munhu angaitotsvaka mapartners ndiguchutu hameno kana akawana, because it's part of the partnership yaari kubvawo. Kana manje waakubuda mupartnership waakunotsvaka imwe partnership waaunzenza hakusiri partnership manje. Saka ndo zvaakaita manje. Saka hapana alliance yatingatopedzera zvedu data redu kutochera kutsvaka pasocial media kuti mapartners akagara mapartners akanga ana dhaki pakaitwa partnership pakasainwa agreement yacho hatombozwi kuti yakasainwa anga ari SG but hatombozwi kuti yakasainwa rini uye yakanga ichara nezviri. Other than advocate Nelson Chamisa ndo vakanga varipo pakasainwa that agreement. So in totality ndiri kuti our name, if we want to change it, we change it. If we do not want to change it, we do not want to change it. But remember, MDC is a name, it's a brand. Zvangofana kuti Coca-Cola vakambozama anonzane zvimwe vanzane vari kugadzira kuZimbabwe Miranda vakambozama vana Pepsi kuda kutedzera Coke hausvike ikoko brand name. So we cannot be told kuti chinjai your brand name into another fictitious name. Kana tichitochinja brand name tiri kuita inonzi rebranding kuita brand njachitoripo kudhara. You don't change. Tinokwanisa kungoita rebrand, maybe to add a prefix or a suffix, but our name will remain and will remain MDC. We are the MDC that was formed in 1999. Douglas Mwonzora was not there. If you ask him that question, he always say that I'm the one who is very experienced in opposition political in Zimbabwe. Opposition where? Zoom, not to MDC. You just came here. And I joined the MDC earlier than Mwonzora. Because Mwonzora joined MDC 2005. And I joined MDC 2002. So I'm even senior than Mwonzora. So those things, he must not even go around and speak about people. He can speak to us about Mzorewa. He can speak to us about Musoro Banga Maduk, where he was in the NCA there. And he knows, we know, that when he came to MDC, he was representing NCA. He was not a member. He came representing NCA in the election of 2005. He knows that. He knows that, and because NCA was joining MDC on the no vote campaign of the new constitution, we know those histories. But you know, and Musapedza Museve kumakunguwo njiva dzinouya tinombosiya chipaparika vachitanhaura makumbo kana vazodzoka tochivaudza gwara kuti ano iwo uri apa neapa. He knew very well. That's why akaramba kuita a presidential candidate against advocate Nelson Chamisa. He knew that he was going to be embarrassed, and he tried with the Wende Mambo and he was embarrassed. He knows that. So yeah, you must not be bullied to change our name. Even the Zampi of the people that we're talking about, Chief Kutivari Popana Parukutera, it must sink in their mind. Let's hope they have the mind anyway. It must sink in their core that we are not going to be forced to change the name MDC by anyone. We are still where we were. We stood where we stand, and we stand where we stood. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, DJ Prof. I think, you know what, our time has come and gone. I'm going to ask you, DJ Prof, just to prepare for us Headmaster Burusa's song just before we leave, while Chief is giving us his closing remarks.
Yeah, I just want to put the minds and the hearts of Zimbabweans listening here at peace, especially with regards to the name. There are a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration. I know the party has come under fire. Why haven't you changed the name? You need to change the name. There are a few things here that I want to note. When the change the name mantra started, it actually started from people aligned to ZANU-PF, and then ZANU-PF picked it up, and other people also swallowed it, hook, line, and sinker. It's called propaganda. It's fed, and there's a way of feeding propaganda that people end up just swallowing it. The way this propaganda has been is being swallowed. So the party leadership, as President Chamisa said, is aware of the dangers that are out there. Do you think they don't know? Do you think all these standing committee meetings, the National Council meetings, the National Executive meetings, the consultations with political scientists that have been engaged by the MDC time and again, have not discussed that? Obviously, they have discussed that. But there are things to be worried of here. When you change a name, especially a brand name like the MDC that has been, with everyone since 1999, a child, Ambuya, Sekuru, anyone who is anywhere in Zimbabwe, chero vari kumaruzevha chaiko chaiko kwakitsi yatota, vanoziva kuti chinonzi MDC chi. That's a big brand name, a name that has blood, a name where a number of people, lots of people, thousands of people have died, trying to protect that name, trying to raise that name. People have been persecuted. People have been jailed. People are suffering right now. Some are living in exile because of that name. So it's not an easy decision to make. And when you decide to make it, and it can be made, and it may be made sooner rather than later, but you don't just make it. Why? Because when you change that name, you want to go across the length and breadth of the country, talking to people, selling that new name that you have come up with. How do you do that during COVID? Obviously, you can't do that. You can't just wake up tomorrow morning and say, we have changed our name. We are now called so-and-so or such and such a name. And then you forget about it. And then you think people will know about it. There is a lot of work that needs to be done when you have changed a name, when you're changing a brand. And there is a lot of money, a lot of resources that are needed for you to be able to do that. You need completely new merchandise with new logos, with new designs. You just don't wake up tomorrow morning with that kind of money, with those kind of resources to do something like that. So first of all, before you even think of changing that name, you need to know whether you have those resources. You need to know whether you have those millions of dollars to start moving around from Kariba to Mutare, from Bulawayo to Mutoko, to make sure that that name is known. So those are things, those are critical issues that people behind the scenes will be talking about, that we cannot talk about anywhere else. So maybe that's the process that is taking place right now. But as President Chamisa said, we will not be told what to do by someone, by some other people. We will do what we want when the time comes, at the right time, at the right opportunity, when we've made sure that all factors that will lead to rebranding are now in place. But vanhu ngatiregedzei kutya, ngatiregedzei kutyisidzirwa nana Mwonzora, ana Mwonzora ava takambovaona. We saw ana Muzorewa. Muzorewa actually went into a government in 1978. And everyone, vakatotanga kutoti vamwe vanga vari mazanla forces, vakatanga kutoti maiwe ngirikini Muzorewa atora chinhu, Muzorewa atora chinhu. Vane hana nete vakatomhanya, they crossed the floor and they joined Muzorewa. So this is a question of history repeating itself. Ngatiregedze kuvhundutswa nana Mwonzora. Right now, if you talk kuna mbuya vari kumaruzevha, vanotoziziva kuti Mwonzora ifake. Vanotoziziva kuti Mwonzora mutengesi. And that's the word we should be spreading. That's the education we should be getting out there. And that's not a responsibility or a duty for President Chamisa or the MDC Alliance only. This is a people's project. So everyone has a responsibility to be marketing, to be talking about what is going on, the truth of what is going on in Zimbabwe right now. Let's talk the truth about what Mwonzora is doing. Let's tell the people that Mwonzora is working with Emerson Mnangagwa. Mwonzora is sold out. Mwonzora is no longer for the people. Mwonzora has left the people and he has decided to dine with the devil. Let's tell the people that. And the people will know. Because the majority already know. So, ngatiregedze kutya, ngatiregedze kuvhunduka. Zvinhu zvinogadziriswa. Kana riri zita kana richichinjwa, richachinjwa at the right time. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, the nation of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on our weekly news review program. From myself, Sophia Tekwani, Chief Sose, DJ Prof, Leader Estella, and those behind the scenes, we want to thank you for spending time with us on Change Radio Zimbabwe and on ZimI on Facebook and YouTube. Stay tuned with us. There are a lot more entertaining and informative programs coming up on Change Radio and ZimI. But before we go, we leave you listening to the sounds of Headmaster Burusa. He had an album launch yesterday on his newly album Ravo Richangoburwa Rinenzi Revolution Volume 3, titled Checking on the Wi-Fi. I want to urge you and remind you to go and subscribe, like his YouTube channel, Yakanzi Headmaster Burusa 2021. So we leave you listening to the wonderful sounds of Headmaster Burusa. Thank you all and have a very good night.
Thank you.
Chamisa.